Good evening. This is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. Um, I'm going to start trying to do these videos semi-regularly over the next couple of weeks. My ultimate goal is to do at least two of these, maybe three per week, depending on how active the weather is. I'm going to try to keep them under 10 minutes if possible. So then eventually these will go strictly to unless there's an ongoing weather event, these will go to subscribers and repeat donors who would meet the subscription criteria. So I didn't want to go this route, but I need to try to raise some more money to get some more things. A dedicated computer for the website, because right now the computer that I'm videoing, my son is on most of the time, especially during school. So at any rate, I need to get a weather only computer. I need to get a good weather station I can load the information from the weather station straight to the website, so that you can always get on there and see what the temperature is. And a lot of other things, and of course, I'd like to be compensated for time a little bit too, but that's not the main thing my page is about. So, at any rate, I'm going to get on into this and talk a little bit about our upcoming weather pattern. So, first thing I'll do is just go to our Facebook page here and take a look at the 7-day forecast that I posted earlier. As you can see, we've been in a very volatile pattern. Some of us have gotten very little rain. Other people have gotten a lot of rain just within a couple of miles of each other here in the county. So like today, a lot of you got a lot of rain, and here at my location in North Anderson, I picked up 3/100ths of an inch. Yesterday, I only picked up 16/100ths of an inch. So we've got these little channels that haven't been doing very well on the rain, but others have gotten way more rain than they need. So that's kind of settling down now as this pesky upper level low is getting out of the way. So the next couple of days, I still don't think that we can totally rule out a stray shower, but there's going to be a lot less coverage than what there has been the last few days. Our next cold front comes in on Friday, at least at the pace it's on right now, and I do expect more widespread rain there. 1 to 2 inches may be possible. We need to see how the moisture return on that goes as the front approaches. A lot of that will be in the timing as well. Right now, it looks like it may start to pass in the afternoon on Friday. If so, then that's prime time to get some good heavy rains. So we'll see how that goes over the next couple of days. We'll still have some isolated storm chances on Sunday, and then a good chunk of next week we actually ought to be dry. Really, Sunday should be dry, but we just can't totally rule something out. And we'll get a little warmer. We'll get back probably mid to upper 80s in the middle of next week. So that takes us up to the 7-day forecast. So I want to take a look beyond the 7-day forecast now and look at what I'm expecting coming up. And the first thing I'm taking a look here is on the College of DuPage website, and we're taking a look at the water vapor loop, mid-level water vapor. And what I want to focus attention on is up here in the Bering Sea. We got a low pressure up here, got a low spinning down there. The Aleutian Island chain is right here, and you can't really correlate an exact location in the Bering Sea to where Indiana is, but roughly we're kind of right in this area. That would say how the weather would translate. So what goes through the theory is what goes through the Bering Sea now will reappear in some form in the continental United States somewhere between 17 and 21 days down the road. That doesn't always happen, but it generally does. So what we'll be taking a look at is with these lows up there in the Bering Sea right now, there may be some storm systems going to our northwest and southeast right around the beginning of August. So in the meantime, over here is our next storm system and frontal system. It's really still going to be a couple of days away. But we'll still get some clouds spilling into our area from them. So I'll take a look then. I very rarely use forecast models, but they are good for visuals. So we're going to take a look here at the GEFS 500 millibar height anomalies, and what the GFS and the European models run. The GFS runs, I believe, now 31 different models to come up with a solution, and they all initialize a little bit differently to come up with different solutions. And then one of those 31 is the so-called control model, that which is what you'll see on a typical GFS run. European does the same thing, only with 50. I believe it's 51. So the European theoretically should be better, and generally is. But so the GEFS takes all of those and combines it, and the EPS, which is the European version of the ensembles, it takes all of those ensembles and combines them together. And so this is kind of like a mean version of what all those came up with. So take a look, and of course up here you see one low, two lows initializing. When you go to the EPS and take a look at the very beginning, it's got the same thing. There's your twin lows. So we'll take a look at where these models want to go from here. This is on Pivotal Weather, and first we can see here comes our next frontal system coming through probably during the day on Friday. And what the reds are that the geopotential heights, I'll explain that in another video, but basically there's the pressure there is higher than normal. But I also always want to look at what the actual height number is. So I mean, you got a 5, this thing's kind of touchy, a 597 decameter height out here. So that's really, that's a hot, generally this time of year, if you're getting the 588 decameter heights, you're going to be in the upper 80s to around 90, depending on the direction of the flow. So that's a real hot dome out west, like they've had for quite a while. You can kind of see the weakness right here. This is on Monday, and you can still see the flow here. Kind of wants to come from the northeast. And so even though there's the 588 line going through here, which once you'll look for some sort of storm activity close to that between the 585 and 588, but that normally would put us right around 90 degrees. But because this flow is coming from the northeast, that's not going to be the case. We'll probably be in the mid to maybe upper 80s, and probably lower 80s actually on Monday. So push it on out, and you can see the weakness begins to break down some, but it's still dragging back in there. So we kind of got this constant flow from the kind of north and northeast, and that seems to break down then around the this will be about 7 p.m. on July 23rd. And you remember in the forecast I targeted the 23rd to 26th for maybe our next shot at 90 degrees, and here's the 591 line is getting closer. So this is definitely indicates that heat is going to be more possible. So, and that kind of holds on. The GEFS kind of holds this 591 line right across Indiana all the way out through the rest. There at the very end, we're kind of in between the 591 and 588. So we're going to be hanging, according to this, even up to the 29th around 90 degrees or so probably. I'm not sure. I think it's going to hold on that long because of what I was just showing you in the Bering Sea, and the Bering Sea has been kind of stormy the last couple of days. So I have a feeling these models are going to adjust. That's why I don't use them a lot. But they're good for illustration. I'm getting up to 9 minutes now. So the EPS kind of does the exact same thing. If you take a look, so that's one of the things you want to look for in these is consistency between the models. Gives you a better idea of the signal. You can still see that kind of got the weakness bent back in here, even into early next week before 591 and 588 lines start pushing our way. And we're up to the 23rd, and it's almost identical to the GEFS. So what this is kind of illustrating is that 23rd to 26th time frame is looking good for probably our next shot of any real heat. The GEFS kind of wants to hang on to that all the way to the end of the month, but I'm not sure that's really going to happen. I think we're going to have a 3 to 4 day stretch where we're going to get pretty hot. And then I think right as we're getting close to the end of the month, the beginning of August, we'll see another cool down because of the storm activity going on in the Bering Sea. Also, there are so many other things to look at. The Madden-Julian Oscillation also kind of points to that. So there are a lot of things that are going on at one time, but that's just an easy visual to look at. So that's where I'm going to cut this off right now, just kind of giving you an idea of the kind of things that I'm looking at as I'm looking down the road. I generally will only show you models if they're kind of in line with what I'm thinking, or in this case, they are most of the way out. And at least in these videos, I can explain where I'm different than what they say. So again, to summarize, maybe some very small storm chances the next couple of days. Cold front comes through on Friday into early Saturday. Depending on timing, again, could bring some more widespread rain instead of just the patchy rain that we've had, but we'll see how that sets up over the next day or so. We should be pretty dry much of next week until a storm system that, again, I think is going to be hanging out somewhere in that 26th, 27th time frame. There's one in between that I don't think is going to affect us, and we'll have to see how that plays out. And one kind of early, midweek next week that I'm not sure is going to affect us. So we'll update on that as that gets closer as well. So that's I'll get better at these videos as I do them more frequently. So in the meantime, I just want to give you an idea of what you'll be getting if you're a subscriber or a frequent donor to the page to help support us financially and help us get better, because I want to stop doing videos on with using my phone pointing at the computer. I want to have a good computer, maybe touch screen where I can draw on the screen and all that kind of stuff. So I want us to get better also. So that's one of the things for trying to raise money as well. So with all that said, this is Micah Mitchell. It's about 9:45 p.m. on July 13th. Thank you all very much for following this page and trusting us with your weather. And we will probably talk to you again here in a couple of days. Thank you.